are back with a little more updates. We're going to be talking today how to become a landlord and what are the rules in Colorado for 2026.
Not even just 2026. There have been a lot of changes probably in the last 3 years, at least as far as I'm concerned. Some of the bigger changes would be that you can no longer, as a landlord, not take a voucher, which would be like a Section 8 voucher. Whereas in Colorado, we used to say, hey, we don't take Section 8 vouchers. Now you can no longer do that. That's illegal. They've also tightened up on what you can do with a tenant. Like if you don't want to renew their lease, you can't just not renew their lease for no reason. So
for example, if I had a bad tenant and they used to not pay me and always be late, I can't just cancel their lease at the end of 12 months?
It's not that simple. No, obviously I have to tell you to consult your attorney, but in reality, if the tenant is, has been a decent tenant, for example, you can not just say, hey, I don't want to renew your lease, which is crazy to me personally being a landlord, but you have to have a good reason for not renewing the lease, being like if you're doing a major renovation on the home, if you want to move back into your own property, if you're thinking of selling it, those are valid reasons, okay?
Well, let's talk about credit. Can I deny any application if I look at their credit and it's just horrible?
Not if they are using a voucher, okay?
Section 8 voucher.
Correct. Section 8 voucher. I think there's other assistance programs that have vouchers. It's not just Section 8. But no, you obviously have to abide by the fair housing rules, right? So you can't discriminate against people for various reasons. Another change is the way they're looking at a landlord's trying to keep deposits, okay? So they've kind of gone through and redefined what normal wear and tear is. And so it's going to be, I think, a lot harder for a landlord to keep a deposit. But if there's damage done, you just have to document everything. I always say take lots of date stamp pictures. You have to give them a breakdown of, hey, I had to do this, this, and this. And so if you do end up going to court, you have some evidence. But Colorado is becoming one of the states that I feel like has leaned more towards the tenants, where it used to be more towards landlords, in my opinion.
So stay tuned. If you have any questions, please DM us or just comment below landlord and we'll get in touch.
Yeah, tell us what your experience has been if you're a landlord and if you think it's worth becoming a landlord. I obviously still think that it is worth it. I just like to do more work on the front end, and screen my tenants a little bit better. I think, most of my rentals, knock on wood, I think in 20 years, I've only had to evict one person. So, I think if you do your homework up front, it's still worth being a landlord.
Need advice? She's the gal.